Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are here for another one of your questions about work. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I'm Roy. I'm a startup investor in the future of work. And we love having repeat guests with us. Paula is a repeat guest who was an Emmy Award-winning TV producer and now is an author on productivity and other subjects. We were just talking before. Since we last met, we now have knocked one item off of our to-do list, which is publishing this compendium of all of the past This Is Not Advices, which is at thisisnotadvice.work for people who want to look. But today we've got day 283. And so the question is, I've got a deadline that's coming up, or in my case, sometimes worse. I'm trying to create something of my own. How can I stop procrastinating, that devil that bedevils us? And Paula would love any thoughts, and thank you for being here.
Aha, the procrastination is popping up again. And the thing that you wanted to do pops up again and again and again on the to-do list. All right, how do we finally get to it? Well, we have to first conquer your fear. There was a study that was done from Princeton University that found that anxiety and fear is the number one reason why we don't do things, why we procrastinate. So there are really two reasons for that fear. One is a fear of not knowing how to do the thing. Like, let's say your taxes, okay? You don't do it, you procrastinate because you don't know how to do it. Or the other side of the coin is that you fear that you'll be too good at the thing.
Yeah, what's that one about?
Yeah, and then it will actually propel you into another part of your life. Sometimes people are a little afraid of success. It's
meaning we think we want something, but actually some part of us is holding ourselves back because we're afraid of being at the front of the room, or whatever the experience is we associate with that new phase of life intimidates us.
It's a little self-sabotage.
Yeah. So what do? How do you figure out which of those two you have? Is it just ask yourself?
You do. I mean, this is a little self-reflection time. So really looking at the list and saying, okay, what are those things that keep popping up again and again, and then reevaluating it. Why? Is it because I actually don't know how to do it? I don't want to do it, or I'm too afraid to do it? And then once you know that, then you can sort of look at it and say, okay, so how do we tackle this? Is this something that I actually even care to do? Maybe you don't even want to learn how to speak French. And so you could just cross it off your list and be done with it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, in my case, just taking thisisnotadvice.work, it was that I knew it would be a significant investment of time, and I didn't know if it would ultimately be worth it in terms of like business value or something like that. I'm grateful to have gotten to do it, and grateful for the support of the team that did it, and excited that it's out there. But if you ask me to like make the case it was worth the time, I find for a lot of things, as you advance in your career, the benefit of what you're doing is somewhat speculative. And some of them, they just don't hit on the priority list. Like I keep meaning to look at this proposal from somebody who wants to be a financial advisor for me. I'm like, is that going to be that useful? Meanwhile, the money's sitting there in cash and getting inflated away in value. So what am I doing? But I love that diagnosis, and those two fears feel like different sides of the same coin. I'm curious for you, when you find you've identified one of those, how do you then make progress? Is it then easy at that point? It all just automatically flows?
I mean, I wish it was that easy, right? But one of the ways that you can just jump in and do, even for, the thing you're looking to review, is time yourself. Just set a timer and just do it and be like, okay, let's see, how long does this actually take? Because this is a big problem, and as a television producer for years, I think in seconds. Most people don't do that, right? But I know now I'm very in tune to how long things actually take. So it's like something will in your mind be like, oh, it's going to take me 5 hours. It takes 5 minutes out of your day to just do that and get it off the list, get it out of your head and be done with it. So sometimes that's all that you need.
It's so funny how many times I've postponed something enough times that the total amount of time I spent postponing it is greater than just getting it done. And sometimes it's like, well, I don't really want to read that doc and give them comments. And then you open the doc and it's a paragraph and you're like, well, what the hell? But I love the TV producer's skill set in this. One of the things I learned in my one brief summer in TV news was that you should back solve from when, the show goes on at 6 or 6:30 or whenever it was. That means by noon, this has to be done. And 8 a.m., this is good. And then what that takes you back to is a first thing. And sometimes the first thing isn't that hard. Call the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council to figure out what hot dog safety features they have for the 4th of July. It's like, okay, that I can do.
Easy enough. Totally. Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is having someone to hold you accountable. That's another way to really to get to it. Saying it out loud is a really big
Yeah,
thing. So just
I love
saying to
that.
someone, "Hey, I want to get this website going," and then people will knock on your door and say, "Hey, did you do that thing yet?"
I
Or
love
setting
that.
up time to do it. I've written 3 books. I have a novel now that I've written, and I'm going to hopefully get out there into the world soon enough.
Wow.
I know. And the way that I've done all of the 3 books that I have is by having an accountability buddy, someone who shows up for me. We show up on Fridays. She's on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. She writes her book. I write my book, but we both show up for each other
I
so we
love
don't
that. There are tools like
procrastinate.
FocusMate, software that can help you do that.
Yep.
But I love that. All right. Any parting thoughts before we wrap?
Go easy on yourself. That is the
Oh,
other part. We're so rough on ourselves. We put so much pressure to say and feel bad about the to-dos and the things on the list that, oh, I never learned how to do that thing and I meant to. It's okay. It's fine.
yeah. I got to say, I generate ideas faster than I execute on ideas,
Totally.
which is probably all of us. Well, I don't know, but it's my experience. And thank you for that, because I think I, even today, needed that reminder.
For
So
sure.
thank you, Paula. And for those of you who are with us for the first time, the reason this is called This Is Not Advice is because we're not trying to tell you how to live your life. We're giving our experiences on what works for us. And then you have to decide for yourself. You can find past episodes and write-ups there. You can search for basically any dilemma you've got about work. And Paula would love to have you back again and again, read your next book, and to be
Sure.
continued.
Yes. See you
Thank
soon.
you.